Hello, my name is Brian Cochran, and I am with BizUp101.com, and I am the CEO of this company. And we are going to be going through a course called Business Startup 101. And today we're going to go through Turning Your Dreams into Reality. It's our first class of this set of courses. It's going to be 4 weeks, 2-hour course, and it's going to help you to start your own business. And before I do, I kind of want to share who I am and understand that a little bit how I can help you. I've been in business all my life. I've only had a couple jobs in my life. That was back when I was 15 through 2020. But at the same time, when I was 12, I started my first business with a lawn care service. My dad used to tell me that if you want to earn more money, you got to go out and do something that, we got an allowance, but it wasn't enough if there's other things I wanted to do, that he said to go out and earn it. So I borrowed his lawnmower, and he had one stipulation that I can use the lawnmower, but what I would have to do is to make sure it was full of gas when I got done. And so I went out and got a couple, I think it's about 10 accounts. This is at 12 through 14. I stopped at about 14 because I got into something else, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I was able to get myself started in business. Getting 10 accounts, and I charged $5 for front, $5 for back, and $1 for edging. And I was able to earn a extra $50 a week as a 12-year-old. I thought back then in the 70s, that was pretty good. Early 70s, I think it was, early 70s. That was pretty good money for a 12-year-old. So that's got my start, and from there I got into the entertainment business, where I still am, and I started off with doing parties, and same thing. My parents were pretty supportive of me, and they shared with me how if you do something, do it at home. So I put them to the test, and I put together this party at my house, and 350 people showed up at my house, and that got me to the next level of going into my business and being a party promoter, and eventually becoming a consultant for marketing and promotion consultant. And I did that for a long time until now we have Biz Up 101, where we're now business consultants, where we help people to start, manage, and grow their company. So I found a lot of folks saw what I liked doing as an entrepreneur, and saw the success that I had amassed, a nice little fortune. I was well off. I wasn't wealthy, but I was well off, where I had enough money where I didn't have to worry about things for a while. So from that, I had a passion to help others to do the same thing, and now we're coming forward into Biz Up 101, where we help those, as I said a second ago, to start, manage, and grow their company. And so with that, let's get into our class today so we can help you get yourself going on as an entrepreneur. All right, our first slide, we'll go into our objectives of our class today is to find your passion. The second part of our class today is going to be, why are you going into business? And the third step in our class today is, what does it take, or what it takes to start a business? And we're going to keep it as simple as possible in this first set of classes. Actually, it's pretty simple anyway. What's hard is you and not having a passion, or having the aptitude of being an entrepreneur. And so we'll get into that a little bit later on as well. Today, there are no jobs. There are no job security. I'm reading this, so I apologize. Jobs are leaving America, as you well know, and most of us are training our replacements. So if you've been on the job, I share a story about both my wife and my dad. My dad had worked for this company for 15 plus, almost 20 years. About to be vested, get retirement, all those good things, and he ended up training his retirement. My wife got just recently, about almost a little over a year ago, same thing happened to her. She had been with this company that was in the rental car industry, and she had been there for 19, almost 20 years, about the same thing, about to be vested to get retirement, and they ended up doing the same thing to her. So in some cases, you may find out that there is no security in having a job. And in most cases, that if you've been there for a while, the security of having, they used to talk about back in the 70s that, get your 401k plan and retire, get your PIN and get a paycheck, retirement check. But those things are not guaranteed anymore. So I took what happened to my dad as a reason why I do not want to work for somebody else, and I've seen many others that has happened to as well. So I stayed an entrepreneur, and I've had my, just so you know, I've had my good days and I've had my hills to climb, but my good days outweigh my bad days, meaning that I enjoy being what I do. Even if I didn't get paid for it, I enjoy it. And sometimes I don't, but I have the passion, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, to continue on, regardless if it's about the money or not. Money comes when you work the system, put together a system and work a system. And again, I am passionate about what I do, and I want you to be as well. So jobs have no security. If you see that on the right-hand corner of the slide, you'll see, even though it's from a TV show, that's his favorite thing is the slowing "you're fired," and that's from The Apprentice, and that's what's happening to a lot of people today. So don't be part of that industry where you or that person that you get fired. Start your own business and fire your boss because you're your own boss. So entrepreneurs realizes that job stands for just over broke. Can you name me one person that has gotten wealthy on a job? In most cases, you can't, because there's always a ceiling above you. There's always somebody above you. And because of that, they're going to always make more money than you. So there are opportunities to be wealthy in certain types of jobs, but in most cases, a job stands for just over broke, because they're going to keep their thumb on you. They're not going to give you the opportunity to be wealthy, because then once you're wealthy, you won't need them. The only company that I know of that kind of does that is in the tech industry, and that was Google. When Google went public, the secretary, the wash boy, the person, the janitor, they all end up being millionaires, and they stayed there because of their love and the compassion and passion for the job itself. It was a great work environment. But other than that, that doesn't happen too often. The norm is the opposite. So again, I'm just giving you reasons why you want to go into business, and you're in this class because you've had an idea of and pondering the idea of going into business for yourself. But hopefully by the end of this class today, you'll be determined and have a passion, and will either start a part-time business or go into a full-time based upon whatever it is that you have a vision to do. Did you know, according to industry experts, home-based business is a $427 billion a year industry? That's more than the pharmaceutical industry, food industry, and consumer goods industry combined. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that there are now over 18.3 million home-based businesses in the United States. That's according to Entrepreneur Magazine. The extremely low startup costs, flexible hours, and the internet are fueling the growth of the home business segment. It's estimated that as many as 150 million people in the United States alone, or U.S. alone, are enjoying the freedom and benefits of owning their own home-based internet business. Recent survey indicates that the average income for income-generating home office households is $65,000 a year, according to a report from the SBA, which is the Small Business Association's Office of Advocacy. Over 20,000 entrepreneurs gross over $1 million operating from a home-based environment. That's either through the internet or through, and that's considered a home-based business, even though it's internet. Home-based businesses represent 52% of all small firms and provide 10% of the total receipts of the economy. Running and owning a home-based business offers new owners a very inexpensive entry point. 40 to 44% of all home-based businesses require less than $5,000 to start up. From a survey done by Home Office Computing Magazine, 98% are happier working from home, 96% would recommend working from home, and 88% would never return to the corporate world. Isn't that awesome? And those statistics are there just to show you and give you an idea. And you don't have to, and again, part of our class today is home-based businesses, but you can do a brick and mortar, which is some type of renting a facility or buying a building of some kind and building it out. But I don't want to scare people because that takes a larger investment to get yourself started. So I showed these statistics over the other because most of us are starting with less, because I said earlier, most of us are on a job, And so that means just over broke. We don't have the expendable cash to really invest into a business. So I wanted to show you an inexpensive way by being a home-based business, or you could do it part-time. So if you spend a couple hours a day until you come up with a strategy to walk away from your job, then at least you can get started. Because most of us will, if we have to invest, over that $5,000, which it'll cost you more than that to get started in your own. If you got going out to either a business community where you go into an office building, it's going to be $2, $3 a square foot. You're going to be $500,000 per month. 500 to 1,000 square foot at $2 or $3. Do the math. You'll end up being at $1,500 or so. You still got to buy office furniture, telephones, and so forth. It's going to be well over $5,000. So we're doing this class based upon little or no money, with $5,000 or less. You can still start your business for more. But there's a strategy which will go into one of the other courses, which is called Show Me the Money, where you will actually be able to raise the money of several different ways to be able to start your business. But for the sake of our class today, just realize that we're showing you a way to do it. That's just like me. Most of the businesses I started was under $5,000 because I didn't have it and I didn't know what I know now. So we're able to teach you the strategies now to help you if you have more. There's something called OPM, which we'll get into more details, which is other people's money. Stands for other people's money. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But for today's class, we're just going to mainly talk about either some type of internet or home-based business that will allow you a less startup cost, and then the strategy will be, even if you start with a home-based business, build the system, do all your preliminary at home before you go out and buy a retail business. Because a lot of your retail business go under because they don't understand how to run staffing and how to manage their money and so forth. So a lot of folks that get a brick and mortar companies are more likely to fail than those that do a home-based business. So with that, we'll continue on. Robert Kiyosaki, which is the Rich Dad Poor Dad gentleman, he had come up with something called the cash flow quadrant. And if you look at the quadrant, it's in a square. On the upper left-hand corner, it says E, and it says security, which the E stands for employee. The second one below, which is the yellow one, it says S, or independent, means you're self-employed. Up in the blue of the right-hand side, top right-hand side of your slide, it says B, which stands for wealth building. It's for business owners or leaders and big businesses that have a system. And then the I stands for for investors, which are stands for investors, and that is financial freedom. That's where your money works for you versus you working for your money. If you look at the next slide, if you look on the left-hand side, it says most of us if we don't work, we don't get paid. And so that's the E and the S. And that means either an employee or even if you're self-employed. Usually your self-employed person is a person that is a sole proprietor and not a business owner in a sense of a corporation. The B and I are folks that are incorporated, which we'll get into more details in the next class. But just know that the difference between self-employed, in most cases, you're a DBA, which you're running off your Social Security number, and you're self-employed. So you usually don't have most of us don't have a corporation because we don't even know what that is. And then if you look on the right, you'll be looking at, this is what you want to be. You want to have passive income. And that's where business owners has a business system. They're leveraging people and their time for money. And the other one is the money working for you, where you're investing, that you made an investment and your money's working for you. And so Robert Kiyosaki came with this great concept because most of us are E and S. And in order for us to be financially free, it's going over into the right side, first becoming a business owner, developing a system that leverages people, and then investing your money that your money works for you perpetually forever, where you make generational wealth. And so the goal is to get on the right side, get off the left side, because if you don't work, you don't eat, or if you don't work, you don't get paid. And so you want to work. 90% of America is on the E and S, and the 10% or less is on the right side, which has a business system as well as their investors. And so for the sake of our class, we're going to, most of us are E and S, and our whole goal is to first help you through, even if you're a sole proprietor, start working towards getting a corporation and learn to build a system so that way you have people working for you, and that system will help you to become an investor because you're investing in other people and making dividends over those that you invest in. Every 11 seconds, someone starts a home-based business. Isn't that awesome? Do you want to be part of that phenomenon? Hopefully, from this point forward, you say yes because you saw that you're not alone. You may be on your own, but you're not alone. There are other business owners out there in the world that are doing either the same or something similar than you. So don't So be encouraged because you have a great opportunity. Excuse me. Since you're taking this class to go to the next level in your life, that you're tired of just being a paycheck away from being homeless. Most of us, if statistically, if you ever watch those financial planning people on like Dave Ramsey and so forth, most of us don't have a reserve fund. Most of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and so. And starting your own home-based business or starting your own internet business or starting some type of business will allow you the opportunity, even if you have your own job, that you can take the profit of your company and put it away, and that could be your emergency fund, just so give you an idea that you don't have to necessarily walk off your job, but you can earn some extra money just by having a home-based business of some kind. Excuse me. Let's go into reasons why people do not go into business. Number one is the fear of starting a business, and that's a big one because they don't know what to do, and so because you don't know what to do, you think it's overwhelming, you think it's going to cost a lot of money, you won't start your business. Number two is fear of failure, and that's a real big one. That what cripples us from doing almost anything is the fear of failure, and we'll get into more details about that. Number two is, oh yeah, just fearful, which is the same thing because, again, the biggest reason most folks don't go into it is because they're afraid of failure or they're afraid of being, afraid of whatever, the unknown. And so hopefully by the end of this course, you will be, you're on fire and ready and passionate about going and starting your own business. Most of us, number four, don't know what or where to start. They don't know what kind of business to start or where to start their business, if it's going to be a home base, or if it's going to be brick and mortar, if it's going to be a franchise or whatever. We don't know where to start. So since we don't know those things, we won't go into business. And the fifth one is don't have the money to start your own business, in which we have a class, which we talked about, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, that is called Show Me the Money, and it will show you where to get the money in order to start your business. If you have something like an invention of some kind, some type of widget that you want to create, then we can show you how to get the money. If you have a business that's going to cost you more than $5,000 or cost you more than $100 and you don't have it, we can show you several ways of building yourself up and building your company to be able to have the funds to start, manage, and grow your company. Thomas Edison said that he has not failed 1,000 times. He just needed to find one way that worked. And so, sorry about the slide. It's supposed to have been. These slides were meant for movement, and so there's the piece that's missing right across the screen. It says basically, I have not failed 1,000 times. I just need to find one way that works. And that's so true because it's your matter of thought processes. If you fail, just look at it as a way of, okay, that's one way that doesn't work. As I shared with you earlier, I had a lot of failures in business, and I never gave up because I knew that if I gave up, I wouldn't win. And I knew that if I wanted to win, that all I got to do is, once you fail, and get back up again is a song, a gospel song, Christian song that we fall down, but we get back up again. And it's so true because if you stay down, then you can never succeed because you never keep going. If you're a runner, I remember watching in the Olympics when one of the guys in the Olympics hurt his leg, and he got up and he had pulled a hamstring or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he got up and he wanted to finish the race. And so as he hobbled along, one of the fans in the stands jumped over the fence, ran over there, or one of the coaches, I don't remember which one it was, but it's just so inspiring because it wasn't about finishing first, it was finishing the race. And so he ended up finishing the race. He finished dead last, but it didn't matter because he wanted to finish. Just like and even in the same Olympics, there was someone that was running the marathon, and the same thing where it ended up taking him a lot longer than everybody else. Everybody was gone and finished, but this one person was not going to give up, not going to give in. His whole goal was to finish the race, and if he would have not finished the race, he would have thought of himself as a quitter and probably quit on everything else. So he was determined to finish the race, and he did. And so you too, don't worry about the race is not to the swift or the strong, but it's the one who endured to the end. And as Thomas Edison learned, and he's giving us a great illustration of greatness, is that he failed 1,000 times, and his train of thought was, is the glass half empty or glass half full? Hopefully you're thinking the glass is half full, because if you half empty, you're looking at it from the other way down. Edison thought about it as half full. He had a positive mental attitude. He was determined to succeed. He knew he can do it, and he just needed to find one way to be able to succeed. So even in the business that you're going to start, at the end of this class, realize too that you may fail a couple of times until you get it right. Bishop 101 came about because of failure. I failed a bunch of times, and until I got it to the state that it's in now. Is it perfect? No. It will be, and it's being made perfect because I know what I wanted the finished product to be. And so each and every day I'm determined to work on it, to get it to be the best that it can be, so I can help people like yourselves to be successful in whatever the endeavor is that you want to do, not just in business, but in life as well. And so as Thomas Edison said, I have not failed. I just found ways that did not work, that wouldn't work. So you too, in business, you shall come up to certain things that will not work in your business. Don't give up. Don't give in. Cinch up your belt, roll up your sleeve, and get going, because you will win in the end if you faint not. Take your passion and make it into a business, or make it into your business. What is it that you're passionate about? If you could do this for free, would you do it? I can see myself doing that. What is that thing that drives you? And we're going to get into more details about that right now. Passion is when you put more energy into something than is required to do it. It is more than just enthusiasm or excitement. Passion is ambition that is materialized into action, to put as much heart, mind, body, and soul into something as it is possible. And so that is what business is all about. And successful people, that's what they do. They take what they dream about, they take what they love, and they turn that into fuel, which we'll see in a second in another slide. I kind of jumped ahead. What is it that you're passionate about? What do you dream about? If you saw something on TV, magazine, when I first got into business, I would see all kind of shows that people were going into business, and I would see success. I would see Coca-Cola, all over the world, and it just made me passionate about, selling products. And I saw different people on TV and interviews of successful business people. I said, man, I can help people do that. And so that passion drove me to Biz Up 101. If you could say to yourself or to others, if I could do this and be happy, successful, and change the world, I would do it, even if it was free. That's what passion is. And if you're passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, that it will help you drive you to the success that you're at, or that you want to succeed to. As I said earlier, passion fuels success. Follow your passion. If you look at the slides, a guy had to climb up a mountain to get to the top. It was hard. It was not easy for him to get there, but he was determined to get there to the end, because the goal was to get to the top. And he celebrated. When you see him looking up his hand, you see him celebrate because of that. And that fuels you to keep going. If you know that if you could be successful in whatever it is, and then every day you set goals, and those goals, you reach those goals, and you keep being passionate about what it is that you're doing, in due season you shall reap a harvest of success in your business. Why are you starting a business? To make a difference? To get out of debt? You have the entrepreneurial spirit? You want to be your own boss? You want to earn extra income, for you can get to do what you are interested in. It gives you an opportunity. Does it give you an opportunity? Are you thinking about it as giving you an opportunity to get creative or be creative? Or it can be very profitable. What is the reason that you are starting your business? Again, part of it is your passion, and if one of these reasons, or one of the reasons why they're great reasons, don't do it solely for the money at all, because money comes and goes, but passion never dies. Because if you're passionate about it, as I said earlier, there's been many times that businesses failed, but I was so passionate about being in business, I didn't go sell and go get a job, which is not really selling out. But I was determined that I know that if I can make somebody else some money, how much more can I work for myself and make money for myself and my family? So same thing. What is the reason why you are starting your business? Do you have that entrepreneurial spirit that as a kid you had a, when you were like 11 or 12, like myself, where you had an ice cream, you were selling either ice cream or ices, or selling lemonade, or you found baseball cards, you were selling baseball cards. Do you know that eBay started from that whole reason, that they found a way that people could take merchandise, what they thought was junk, and make it treasure? And so from that, eBay has made millionaires and made people be able to walk off their jobs just by finding what's in their closet. So what's in your house? And we'll get into that a little bit later on. But what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that the reason that why you're going into business? And let those things drive you to figure out what it is that you want to do and be passionate about what it is, so that way, as you do it, you have great success. One of the things we're going to talk about today is having doing a self-examination. And the self-examination will help you to understand if you have the entrepreneurial spirit, as well as the drive, as what it's going to take for you to get there. What is it that you would like to do? And again, what you'll probably want to do is, you'll be able to go to the website, go to the Institute, to biz101.com, and go to the Institute. And when you go to the Institute, go ahead and register if you haven't already. Register for the class. It's this class is free. So when you take the class, you'll register, and then you'll be able to download this whole outline that I'm going through today. That's the class outline. What will happen is, from this day forward, you'll be able to go through the outline up front, and then we'll then as we go through the class, you'll have the outline with you. So the things that I'm talking about, you can also take out a scratch piece of paper and be able to write down as we go along those things that we're going to be talking about in different areas of starting your business. But number one, what is it that you would like to do? That's going to be really important, because if you don't know what to do, you still go into business, because there's ways of generating cash flow to get yourself started while you try to figure out, from just having an e-commerce business of selling merchandise, various merchandise from various sites and so forth. We also have a program, if you don't know, that you can actually sell products, from big screen TVs to microwave ovens and music and so forth, that you have an e-commerce business until you actually figure out what it is that you want to do. But if you do know what you want to do, write it down. And so that way, a dream becomes reality when you take that vision and write it down and write it upon tablets. And so there, that really can take that vision and run with it. So it could be for investment purposes later on. That could be for you to point your way to wherever you're going. I ask a question always: are you able to? Can you get to Chicago? We're in Los Angeles, and I asked the question: can you get to Chicago only taking the 10 freeway? And it's kind of if you don't know your maps of California, no, you can't get there only taking the 10 freeway. So what one of the things that will happen is, if you writing this down, let's start working on your plan. And so we'll go into a couple of minutes to go over that as well. Are you willing to work long hours? And that's going to be the key to success in anything. I was watching this movie called The Soloist, and this young man, as a child, wanted to be a musician. He loved music, was passionate about music, and he worked on it for years and years and years and years to become an expert. There were some challenges with him mentally, but if you watch the movie and see how awesome he was, but it took sacrifice for him to be successful in music. As far as playing wise, he didn't make any money. It wasn't about the money. He had passion about music. He was diligent about what he was doing, and he was willing to work long hours to be successful as a musician. And so you too, what are you willing to work long hours for to help you to become successful, to help you be wealthy or rich, or whatever success is to you? Are you a self-starter? That's important, because most of the times when you're starting a business, you're all by yourself. And so you have to be self-motivated. You know, a lot of times, just if you're married, your spouse may not be behind you 100%, so they might not be the person that motivates you. Your children may not be the person that motivates you. You have to motivate yourself. And as you become successful, and as they start seeing a paycheck, then they'll get behind you in most cases. But as a self-starter, that means that if no one ever says good job, if no one ever says go ahead and do it, you have to be willing to make that sacrifice, take the time, as we talked about working long hours. And you don't have to work long hours if you're doing a part-time business, but the more hours, the more you sow into your business, the more you're going to reap on the backside, because once you get your widget manufactured, you still have to take it to the market. You still got to market it. And if you're starting with very little or no money, then you have to trade your time for those dollars that you'd be able to pay a marketing company to do it. So You will be it'll be more advantageous if you are a self-starter. Then that way you can motivate yourself, encourage yourself into your destiny and greatness. What motivates you? Is it your kids and having a second income? Is it the things we talked about before that motivate you? It's important to know that that you can be motivated and pull. Just like me, I watch a TV show. There's two TV shows that I watch religiously. They're on Friday nights. As a matter of fact, there's three. But the two that I want to talk about, just for the sake of our class today, is that the first one is called Kitchen Nightmares. And I'm a business consultant, so I do something similar to Kitchen Nightmares. Not as glamorous, of course, and not as fun, but I watch it because I'm able to see how he goes in and sees how a company is tore up from the floor up, doing bad, about to go out of business, and he helps come up with a strategies to help them to save their business, to turn the business around and make it successful. And the other one is called Shark Tank. And Shark Tank is on Channel 7, ABC stations. It's on Channel 7 here on the West Coast. I don't know what channel it is wherever you are, but it's called Shark Tank, and it comes on at 9 o'clock on the West Coast on Channel 7, ABC station. And I watched that one because that one is five angel investors who are successful in their own right. Some are millionaires, some are multimillionaires, some have tech companies, some have brick and mortar companies, and so forth. And some have clothing companies or marketing guys or development specialists. And people come in with an idea, and some have already started, some have a great idea, they want to get started, and they have to pitch their company to these investors. And whoever comes up with the best idea that one of these folks like, they invest in it. So you can see that that motivates me to keep on, because I know that, in helping others, if I can get them to the point where they either get on the Shark Tank or get to one of the angel investors that we know of and so forth, or show you how to put your business together to be able to go after funding, that the simplest ideas can be billion dollar ideas, and you just have to have somebody see it. So those two things motivate me to keep going on in business, as well as I'm in the entertainment industry, and there's a couple, American Idol, X Factor, and The Voice. I watch those shows for different reasons, but it motivates me to know that I can help music artists as well. And that music artists have an opportunity because of the internet. You can see how the sales that they're doing on TV through iTunes and so forth on the music side, and then on the Shark Tank show, they always have a recap, during the show, of different people that either were successful on the show or they didn't invest in, but because they had the exposure on the show, millions of people are watching it, and that opportunity turned their lives around, and now the companies went from very little to a whole lot. Very few of them, almost next to none of them, went out of business. They go on the Shark Tank because there's other folks that may want to invest that they don't want to invest, and so forth. And so that's what motivates me, as well as knowing that I want to provide for my family, and I want to be able to provide to help others at the same time. That's what motivates me. So what motivates you? You should write that down. Same thing with the other three. Number one was, what is it that you would like to do? Number two, are you willing to work long hours? Number three, are you a self-starter? Number four is, what motivates you? And our number five is, are you afraid to fail? And as you know, that we went back through that other slide before, don't be afraid of failure. Look at it just like Thomas Edison, and as well as other folks that you know that have failed. And I would suggest you also get a mentor, somebody that will encourage you, so that way if you're not self-motivated or you're self-started, that someone else will push you into your destiny as well. And if you're fearful, get over it, because as we've been talking about, hopefully that will is no longer a part of your vocabulary. Speak positive affirmations to yourself that I can start my own business. I can be and will be successful. I do have the power to be able to amass success by going out and doing what it takes to make myself successful in the business that I'm going after. I will get product knowledge and have an understanding of the business I'm going into. Those positive affirmations and more will help you to get past the fear. So when fear wants to strike its ugly head, you'll be able to beat it down with positive affirmations. Would you put your own money into your business? And that's a big one, because a lot of folks are not willing to, and that's a big reason why we don't go into business, because of that. But you have to realize too is unless you invest in you, why would somebody else invest in you? So even if you have to put your own money into getting a business plan done because that's important, or um, getting the trademark of the item or patent of the idea of the widget that you're putting together, or even getting the business up and running, you should be willing to put your own money into it. So, and again, that backs up to number 5. A lot of times you won't put your own money into it because you're fearful it's going to fail. And yeah, but think about it. If you go to a basketball game, if you go to a football game, if you go to the movies, if you go out to dinner, if you go buy a jet ski or anything else, you're willing to put money into your entertainment that gets you no value from it except for just having some fun for that moment. But you can build yourself a business that will last a lifetime if you build it the right way. So be willing to invest in your own business. And if you don't, again, this is a self-exam, and I'm kind of helping you again motivate you, hopefully, to start your own business to go into business because I'm a business owner. So anyway, uh, put your own be willing to, but after our class, even after our class, I think the next class will be going in. No, it'll be the third class. We'll be going into Show Me the Money, and that Show Me the Money class will show you how to go after investment capital to build your business, but it's still going to take you a little bit of money to do it because you still got to put together a plan and a business plan. And a business plan, unless you know how to do it yourself, you still got to figure out a way to build a business plan. So that's going to be investing into the business no matter what, or at least the idea that you're going to have. So the 6 things that you need to do in a self-examination is, what is it that you want to do? Are you willing to work long hours? Number 3, are you a self-starter? Number 4 is, what motivates you? Number 5, are you afraid to fail? And number 6, would you put your own money into your business? So what I would do at the end of this class, again, go to the website, go to the biz101.com, go to the section where the institute is, sign up for a business startup 101 class, and once you register for the class number 1 is this outline here. So you better pull that down if you haven't done so already, and so that way you can do this self-examination. Okay, let me take a swig of water. Excuse me 1 second. Thank you. Decide on what type of business you are going to start. Get a piece of paper out, and again, this is on the outline that you should have, or actually need to have. Get out a sheet of paper, or you can use your computer, and make a list of things that you would like to do. Your work and volunteer experience and items you own that can be used in your business. And those are the things that will help you start to think about putting your business together. As I said earlier, try to find things that you're passionate about. Don't do something because it's going to make a lot of money, because in most cases, if it doesn't hit right away, you will probably not continue and fall out in the hard times because you're not passionate about it. So if you're passionate about whatever it is you're going to do, make sure that's the focal point of what you're going to do in starting a business. Everything I've done, I've been passionate about it. And so even when I didn't make money, I still enjoyed what I was doing. So in the lean times, I thought about this, times I had success, and I thought about I can be successful again. Even when the economy went down and I turned our business upside down, I was still passionate about the idea and the concept of what I'm doing today. And because of that, I'm here today, and you're here, a part of this class, because of me not failing and falling out. So list the things that you like to do. What are you experienced in? Because a lot of times in the workplace, in some cases, or if you volunteer at a nonprofit of some kind, if it's a church or Boys and Girls Club or something like that, write those things down so you can start seeing what your experiences are. And by the way, these are this next part, your work experience and your volunteer experience, are going to be part of your business plan. So that's another reason why we're doing this, is to help you start working on the plan So that way you will have some great success and save some time in what we're going to be doing as far as putting together your business plan. And then at the same time, what's in your house? What are those items that you own that can be used in your business that you don't have to go out and buy all over again? Like, for instance, a desk or a computer, or it could be a refrigerator if you're doing baked goods. It could be, an oven. It could be almost anything, if depending on what it is. As I talked about earlier and shared with you, this is about more of the organizational side for the most part, but also if you're starting an eBay type business, online business, then what is it that you're not using anymore? What would you consider? Your wife or your husband wants to get rid of this stuff out of the garage. Well, that's a business, and so you can use that as something to be passionate about. Then you can go out to yard sales and so forth and find stuff for cheap and put it on eBay to resell it, or put it on the other auction sites as well, so that you go out and resell it. So, but the thing about it is, as I talked about earlier, it's only trying to help you start a business for $5,000 or less, and don't get stuck on how much. I'm just saying this is the subject of the course is that you're gonna have to have some money, as I said earlier, but a lot of stuff. Like myself, when I got into business, I had a home. When I started at 12 years old, I borrowed my dad's lawnmower and edger. I was 12 years old. I couldn't afford one, but I learned how to cut at home. I had experience from at home cutting lawns, because that was one of the ways I was able to get an allowance. Was each week I was supposed to, keep the lawn watered, as well as on Saturdays I was supposed to cut the lawn, and then after Saturday I would get an allowance. And so my experience in learning how to cut lawns gave me the ability to go out and start a lawn care service. So things like that will be what will help you to start your own business, depending on what it is. Say, for instance, if you are a person that does data processing on a computer, that can be turned into a business of some kind. And so those things, start writing a list of what you like to do, what do you do on a job, what do you volunteer, so that way they may help you to find and pinpoint what it is that you want to do in the future as far as your job. This is your homework. Wow, that wasn't supposed to be there. The 5 W's and the 1 H. And on the right side, sorry about this slide, I'll fix it. That wasn't supposed to be there. That was supposed to be gone already. Anyway, that says placeholder or click icon to add. I don't know how that got there. So anyway, I apologize. The 5 W's is who, what, why, where, when. And then the H is how. And so your homework assignment is write down the H, write down, you could probably use a separate piece of paper on each letter, and, write one for why, write down for one for who, when, where, why, and how. And then what you do is I'll give you a for instance, and the for instance would be, who are you? And then part of that line would be, and write down who are you, and then you write down again what I said earlier, who your expenses, what your experiences are, who you are as a person, who is your team, who is your target market, and target market is who is the person. So the business that you're starting, who are you going after, kind of thing. And then what is it that you want to do or be? What type of business? What is it that you want to do? That's what the what is. What is it going to take in order for you to start the business? And then when do you want to start? Why are you choosing this business? Why is it going to cost so much? Why is it relevant for today? Where are you going to house your business? Is it going to be a home-based business? Is it going to be a brick-and-mortar business? Is it going to be an internet business? And how am I going to fund this business or widget? And how am I going to assemble my team and so forth. And so that's your homework assignment. What you can do is you can, again, go to the website. If you go, I'll have posted by the time you read this, it'll also have, I have an outline for the who, what, why, where, the 5 W's and H as a class as well. So you can go online to, it'll be the second class as well. So you can download your classwork in the Institute section of BizHelp 101. This is the end of our first class. Man, it went faster than I thought. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. But this will give you a heads up perspective on who you are, what you're trying to do, why you're trying to do it, because it's all about starting your own business. Because we want you, again, the objective of the class was to find your passion, why are you going into business, and what it takes to start your own business. And so today, hopefully you'll find that passion as you go through these lessons and go through these self-examinations, and you'll look at why you're going into business. Is it because you're going into that you need a second income, or you need a primary income? Is the industry that you're in on your job, is it fading away? And then you also took a look at, just briefly, what it takes to start your own business. And my name is Brian Cochran, and I hope something has been said or something that has been done to inspire you into greatness. If you have any questions about the class, email me at bizcoach@bizhelp101.com. And you can also, in your spare time, go to our articles and help sections at BizHelp 101. There's tons of how-tos, business startup and business development and business management, that the more information that you have, there's a saying that those that fail to plan to fail, and part of that is preparation. The reason a lot of businesses go out of business is because they lack the knowledge of understanding how to run their business and how to grow their business, and so they stay at the same rate. And then when the climate changes, economic climate, business climate changes, marketing climate changes, your people move out, your target market changes, whatever, because you've not learned and have the knowledge of understanding how to grow and run your business, that a lot of folks go out of business. So take advantage of the articles and help section. They're tools to help you to build and be successful. And we will see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye now.